I've noticed in my life that every so often something truly amazing and totally unexpected happens. I adore it and I wonder at it. I like to call it everyday magic. And I have a story of such magic to tell you tonight. It involves a piece of jewelry, a close high school friendship, and what happened to that friendship following high school. I'd like to begin my story by explaining how this piece of jewelry came into my life. I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago in two different towns. The first one I spent from 6 months of age until I was 12. It was a perfect place to grow up because there must have been kids in every house, so I had loads and loads of playmates. We had fantastic neighbors, and among them, our favorites was the Lister family. I moved away in the middle of 7th grade, and then when I graduated 8th grade from my new junior high, I received a gift from the Liskers. I received a silver necklace. I adored this necklace. First of all, it was sterling, so it was my first piece of real jewelry. It wasn't expensive, but it was special in that way. The other thing was, it had my monogram. So it was made for nobody but me. I treasured that necklace. I think I wore that just about every day of high school, in fact. It was not only my favorite piece of jewelry, it was the favorite thing that I owned. What I couldn't possibly have known at that time was that that necklace helped me learn one of the most important lessons of my life. And I'll get to that in just a few moments. But first I'd like to tell you about this close high school friendship and how the necklace relates to it. I first met my friend Anne when we were on a Girl Scout trip that took place right before our freshman year of high school. We'd gone for 2 weeks to Wyoming, and there Anne and I connected over our shared sense of adventure. One of the best things that we did was to get up before sunrise, pack a cold breakfast, an apple, some trail mix, fill our canteens with water, and we would hike out to a place we called our breakfast cliff. There we would have breakfast and watch the sunrise come up over the canyon from our cliff. Coming home from our trip, we were delighted to realize we lived just 3 blocks away from each other. And we were fairly inseparable during that time of high school. There was hardly a passion that we didn't share. We continued our camping adventures and backpacking and service projects with the Girl Scouts. We shared a job at the local children's shop. We followed the soccer team. We also enjoyed some quieter activities like crafting. We sewed and designed our own clothes. Our favorite project was making Afghani nomad dresses. It involved 12 pieces of fabric and a richly embroidered bodice. Not only that, Anne shared her incredible family with me. I practically lived at her house. I went on family vacations with them. I considered myself their foster child. And so, and the other thing I'd like to tell you is that it was a very, very comfortable relationship. Neither one of us was clingy or possessive or exclusive. In fact, we had other friends, but we both knew that we were each other's best friend. And so, as high school graduation approached, we were sad. We hoped that we'd be friends for the rest of our lives, but we also knew it was never going to be the same as it was in high school. We feared even more that we were going to break out blubbering during the ceremony because we were so sad. So we came up with a plan. We thought, we're going to meet the week before graduation and have it out. We're going to reminisce and sob and cry, and then hopefully we will remain composed during the ceremony. So as I thought about this meeting that we were going to have, I thought, Anne is my dearest friend. I love her so much. And my necklace, that's the most precious thing I have. I decided I was going to give her the necklace. It just about broke my heart to think about parting with my necklace, but I knew I had to do it. And so, a week before graduation, we had it out at my kitchen table. We sobbed and we cried. I gave her the necklace, and it worked. We were composed and graceful during our graduation. So now let me tell you about what happened after high school. Ann and I went to different colleges. I stayed in the Midwest. She went to upstate New York. We tried to get together during holiday breaks and so forth. Looking back, I can see that we drifted apart. But it wasn't that noticeable. You know, I was so engaged in my new college life and my pursuits and new friends and so forth. Following college, we ended up in downtown Chicago. Ann was there for a time. I remember working so hard to connect with her, to try to just get time with her. And when I could, I found that there wasn't that heart connection that we had had. She was very content to stay with small talk. It made me very sad. But after trying and trying, I finally resolved that, you know, we really entered into the realm of old acquaintances. So what about my necklace? I have to admit that I felt regret in those times. That I was sad I didn't have it. I longed for it. And it wasn't something that was continuous, it wasn't overwhelming, but there it was every so often. Oh, I wish I still had that. And then, about 20 years after graduating high school, I suddenly came to a new place. I don't know what precipitated it, but I suddenly looked at the situation in a different light. And I thought to myself, how blessed was I to have had such an incredible friendship. I came to a place of gratitude and nothing else. I thought, it doesn't get any better than that. And I thought, you know what? It was worth it. I'm glad that I let that necklace go because I had something better. I really let go of the regret. I let go of the sadness. And all that was left was to embrace the love that it had represented. And then the most amazing thing happened. 3 days later, the necklace arrived in the mail. In Ann's note, she said, I found this in my jewelry box. I thought you'd want it. I looked at that situation in wonder, and I thought, I was so filled with regret and with sadness, and I let that go, and there it was. My necklace showed me in the most stunning of ways that I can struggle and struggle for something. And when I finally come to a place of true and deep and complete acceptance, the very thing that I have been struggling for flies into my